What's up, A to Z Sports here live on a Friday. Half of a week of training camp is officially in the books and heading to the first weekend in a stadium practice that's tomorrow where Easton and I and JT Runke and Buck Rising and the rest of the Titans media corps will be in attendance with a lot of you guys, hopefully. It is free to attend at Nissan Stadium, so check that out. You still have to purchase a ticket or claim a ticket or whatever that is to show up. But going to have a fun Saturday, but we're going to have a good show here to get us to the weekend, the first weekend when football is back. Man, feels good, right? Because after this, I think we're set up, right? We're set up through Valentine's Day to have football every weekend.
Yeah.
I think.
Right? And we've got pads coming on football players next week. I mean, it's time. We're here. No more waiting.
We've made it. All right, but we're going to have a Treylon Burks conversation. A lot of things being said about the Titans' fourth year, former first round wide receiver draft pick from the quarterback, from the head coach. The Titans put out a highlight of Treylon Burks on their social media yesterday. They got a lot of pushback that we will discuss. The truth about Treylon Burks and the Titans wide receiver possession battle just a couple of days into training camp. We'll talk about other receivers that are popping out and catching our attention throughout the first couple of days, how the Titans are utilizing their different wide receivers so far throughout training camp as we get ready for a big Saturday stadium practice. Easton, it's also a Friday, which means good news time. So if you got good news, get it ready. If you don't have good news, go find some good news. Find some good news. I don't remember the Titans thing again, but I was getting close to it. But good news to end the show. Easton, welcome in. Let's get this thing rolling.
Good morning, Austin. Good morning, everybody in the comments. Hope you guys have had a great week. Looking forward to finishing strong here on a Friday. Great show for you today. Before we get into any of it, though, we need you to like the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. Hit that thumbs up button right below our faces, right down there. And then jump into the comments like Titans Kyle, Jon Snow, Ashley, Titans Kyle twice, Garrett, American Toff, Daniel, Andre, Andrew. Good morning to all of you guys. Some familiar faces in the chat. Hope you guys have had a great week. Jump in the comments with them. Want to hear your thoughts on the Titans receivers, Titans training camp practices number 1, number 2. Any Treylon Burks thoughts you need to get off your chest? Last call for those because I will not be accepting them anymore after today. We'll talk about that in a minute. Should be a good show. Austin, let's get it started.
Let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports here live on a Friday. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, our Titan reporter for A to Z Sports.com. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Leave us a 5-star Google review. I did get a new 5-star Google review email to me yesterday, but I did not prepare myself. There it is. T. Just straight up T. T left us 5 TLG, excuse me. T, first name T, last name LG. Left us a 5-star Google review. So thank you for that. Do have to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us and they help all of you. Like Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care, and our friends at Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for any insurance needs. They are local to the mid-state area and online at bartondrury.com. So you said this is your last call for Treylon Burks take. So you're going to, on the same week that you self-impose your retirement from Will Levis conversation, you're also going to do the same thing for Treylon Burks conversation. Will Levis is not on the field. Treylon Burks is on the field for now. So you can't just do this like you did Will Levis. Will Levis, I can kind of get because he's not out there. He's not going to be.
Well, that's Burks interesting because earlier this week you told me I couldn't do it with Levis either.
I didn't know. I know.
The bad news that I have for you that is on both fronts, I can and I will be shutting down those things. And if you force me into talking about them beyond this week, I will coach speak you into a tizzy. I will say so many things that mean nothing about those players. It's going to blow your minds. In all seriousness, on Tuesday I said we're done. I'm over it. We're not talking about Will Levis anymore. And today it's going to be the same thing. But the vitriol for me is large. It's not. We'll get into it. It's not pointed at Treylon. I don't hate him or I'm mad at him.
Nobody hates the human being. Like
No.
that's like
I hate all of you. I'm mad at all of you. I'm not mad at Treylon. I hate you people.
It's like, and that's the thing. I hate that we always feel like we have to need to preface like a take about not liking a player with like, it's not about the person, right? Like that should just be a disclaimer. Maybe it's just a new graphic that's just like, nothing is personal. This is not about the human being. This is about the athlete only.
Well,
so go ahead.
To quote our current president, or to misquote our current president from a debate many years ago, the only person who's ever been personal for me is Jamal Adams. So except for Rosie O'Donnell, Jamal Adams, it was personal when he was gone. I did not like him. I do not like him. But for everybody else, it's never been personal.
There you go. So let's hear from rookie quarterback Cam Ward on Treylon Burks, because Treylon Burks has been a topic of conversation since he first hit the Titans practice field in his rookie minicamp when he could not get through the first drill because he had an asthma attack that was kept secret by the team for whatever reason. But that was many GMs and head coaches ago that did that. And so now let's hear from Cam Ward talking about the fourth-year wide receiver Treylon Burks. From Wednesday, after Wednesday's practice, after the first day of training camp practice. Here's Cam Ward.
What have some of your early impressions been of Treylon?
Burks real explosive receiver. I'm glad that I finally get a chance to throw to him. Almost connect on a vertical ball today. But he's going to be one of our best targets this year. Not a lot of guys at his size can move like him, can break down like him. So I'm excited. Just hope he stays healthy. But when he does stay healthy, he'll be one of the best receivers out there.
It's a lot of words, a couple bests. Look, Treylon Burks is big. Treylon Burks is explosive. Treylon Burks can stretch the field. I'm going to pause there because I want to hear from Brian Callahan before yesterday's practice when asked about Treylon Burks, because and we'll come back to Cam Ward probably if we need to, but here's Brian Callahan.
Everything about Trey I like. I like his ability. I like his talent. The thing that he's got to do for us, and I think he's on the same page with it, is you got to find the production. You have to make the plays when you have opportunities to make them. That's in practice. That's in preseason games. That's in regular games. And that's going to be that's the step for him. He's got to take for us is when it's when the time comes to produce, he's got to produce for us. Now, everything he does, how he works, the person he is in the building are fantastic. I love Trey, and I'm hopeful that he can find a way to get the production that he needs to continue to show for himself, because that's probably that's the step he's got to take, is to produce.
So he's got to produce, right? So Cam Ward has the opportunity to be one of the best guys out there, and Brian Callahan says he's doing everything right, but he's got to produce.
Yeah, he's only got to produce. He's only got to do the one thing that we're not going to allow him to do. So that's cool. Awesome.
Yeah. So what's your take on hearing both those things and also watching Treylon Burks for the first couple of days of training camp so far going into year 4?
And my take is the same as what I wrote in my camp notebook last night about this topic, is that in that article, I said I will not be citing the quotes from Cam or Brian Callahan on this topic, because what they say does not matter at all. None of the words that just came out of either of their mouths matter a bit. And if you got them in a private moment, they would agree. I saw somebody in the comments saying, it sounds like Cam has a canned answer for every player. Yes, he does. We talked about this the other day, or I think we talked about it yesterday. If I signed a one-day deal to go out to training camp to practice as a receiver for this team, Cam would go to the podium and have the same, very similar glowing comments to say about me, despite the fact that we all know it'd be a train wreck. So the way that they're talking about him right now is the way that I will talk about Treylon Burks after today. A bunch of nothing that means nothing, but just a bunch of words that everybody understands means nothing.
Well, Brian Callahan's words are accurate. Like, he's doing he is available. He is in good shape. He is fast. He is explosive. He does the right things behind the scenes. He has to produce. And that's the thing that he has not done yet, is produce, because he only has 699 yards receiving in 3 seasons in the NFL.
And that is where Brian tips his hand a little bit. The idea that this guy has to produce if he wants to make the team. That is code for he's not making the team, because he's not going to have the opportunity to produce. It's over. Like, he's running with the threes in practice already. This is what's frustrating me so much about the Treylon Burks thing, is there's this vicious cycle these first couple of days that I have seen in really across the media landscape here in town. I've heard it on radio. I heard on Buck Show. I think it was Steve Lehman talking about this yesterday.
Yep.
And so I'll throw a little bit of shade at Steve. No, I don't hate Steve or anything. I just disagree with what he said on that
Use
show.
Channel 5, Steve Lehman.
It's good guy.
His 15th camp. Oh, Steve's a great guy.
Good guy. I think he's wrong about this.
Same.
I've seen it written some, and I've seen it talked about more times than I can count on social media already in these first 2 days. This vicious cycle of people asking these players and coaches about Treylon Burks and talking to Treylon Burks after practice. And then the takeaway is, and then those people say things about Treylon Burks because they're asked questions about them. And then the takeaway is, man, this team won't stop talking about Treylon Burks. And they're saying a lot of nice things. They must like him. No, you won't stop asking about him. What are we talking about? Like, you people have seen the first 3 years of the Treylon Burks experience. With that prerequisite knowledge of how it's gone so far. How can you possibly think that based on these canned comments in July that it changes anything? Of course it doesn't. This next month is the final chapter in the Treylon Burks story in Tennessee. I like Treylon. It's been a pleasure covering him. I wish nothing more than for him to go somewhere else and have a career revitalization unlike anything we've ever seen, a miraculous turnaround. I would love that for him. I would love to talk about it on our show. But if and until that happens, I'm done talking about him because he's done here in Tennessee. He's not making the team. It's over. It's over. Why are we spending time in press conferences today already asking about Treylon?
Because I think it's the weird thing, right, Easton? This is what, like, I think sometimes you are too close to the situation to where when you back up, there's a lot of, not saying you guys, I'm not calling any of the people watching here show the casual fan, but the casual fan, here's Treylon Burks. They know he's a first-round draft pick. They're waiting for him to produce. They're thinking he can be better. He is big and fast and strong and all these things. And DeAndre Hopkins said great things about him. Everybody said great things about Treylon Burks, but he hasn't done anything yet. So he is still a storyline because the peripheral fan, the casual fan in the mid-state area who will follow the Titans know Treylon Burks, recognize his name, and are interested in engaging with content about Treylon Burks. Now, the diehards that are watching our show every day know this about Treylon Burks because when we showed this video, the Titans tweeted this video with Woo Pig and added Arkansas football like it was anything special. And this play from yesterday's training camp, a pass from Brandon Allen to Treylon Burks across the middle shows Treylon Burks leaving his feet
Arkansas great, by the way.
For no reason. Say what?
Fellow Arkansas great, Brandon Allen. That's
right.
That's the Woo Pig of it all.
That makes sense. But still, like, why is he leaving his feet? Why is he doing a Michael Jordan Jumpman logo when the ball is basically going to hit him in the shoulder? If he does.
This is also a play that we've all seen before. It's the annual Treylon Burks gets hurt and we never hear from him again play because as you can see, Mike Brown would have sent him to the hospital here.
Yes, 44 holds up. Whoop, because 44 did that to a Vikings receiver in the end zone last year. And
I was about to say, and almost did it to Nico Collins in a Texans game later, which is why, side note, if I had a nickel for every time I've seen Mike Brown in a position to kill somebody or almost kill somebody crossing the middle of the field, I'd have a surprising number of nickels. Like he's done this in notable situations quite a bit the past couple of years.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's not every once in a while, the Titans social media team puts out a clip that if they had a ball knower in the office, they probably would have been advised against putting that out.
Yes. James says Treylon Burks is to Easton that Malcolm Butler is to Buck Rising.
Sure.
When's Malcolm coming off IR? That's a great throwback. Also another throwback. 44, that's me. Woo! If anybody gets that commercial, that's a good one too. That Titans Kyle. All right, so I just put up a YouTube poll. Easton, this is the poll that I told you and JT in the pre-show conversation about, but I didn't tell you what it was going to be because I just want to get where people are at. Where are you with this YouTube poll? Does Treylon Burks even have, quote, a chance? And dang it, I had a typo. A chance to make the Titans team. Does Treylon Burks even have, I'm going to have to redo the poll. Does Treylon Burks even have a chance to make the Titans team? That is what I want to know. The results from everybody. Does he even have a chance to make the team? So we're going to get into that. But like I think as I set up the YouTube poll, let's hear from Cam Ward again, because there's one thing that Cam Ward said that summarizes the entire Treylon Burks experience for me.
What have some of your early impressions been about Treylon Burks?
Burks real explosive receiver. I'm glad that I finally get a chance to throw to him. Almost connect on a vertical ball today. But he's going to be one of our best targets this year. Not a lot of guys at his size can move like him, can break down like him. So I'm excited. Just hope he stays healthy. But, when he does stay healthy, he'll be one of the best receivers out there.
The thing that I took away from that is Cam Ward said, we almost connected on a deep ball. That is the entire Treylon Burks experience is we almost did it, but we didn't do it. Like almost connected, but didn't. And so when I heard the same Steve Lehman conversation with Buck yesterday after practice, and Steve is not wrong that outside of Calvin Ridley, who can stretch the field the best in the Titans wide receiver room, it's Treylon Burks from a physical running down the field. But it doesn't matter because what's the like 50-50 ball for Treylon Burks is more like 20 to 80 ball defense. And it's just he doesn't come down with it.
Right. So really, he can't stretch the field, right? Like, I mean, we can go and find the best track athlete at Brentwood High School who's probably going to get down the field faster than a lot of receivers on this team. But he can't stretch the field because if you don't catch the ball, you're not stretching anything, boss.
Exactly. And so we almost connected. I don't care about that. It is time for Treylon Burks to catch the ball when it is thrown to him down the field. And also, he still has no clue how to fall or not fall. He doesn't know how to avoid taking a massive blow to the earth and to not hurt himself or not to get up.
It is both things, isn't it? It's to fall and not to fall. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how not to fall, and then once he does fall, he doesn't know how to do it well. It's both of those things.
We've all played Super Mario. Like, you got to roll out of that thing. If you're going to jump off of this massive 3-story brick wall, you have to be able to roll out of it.
You can't do both of those things. If you're bad at falling, you need to know how to not fall. And if you have to fall, you need to know how to fall well. And he can't do either of those things.
And you know what? And most of the time, it's the funny thing is he has both hands available when he's falling because he didn't catch the ball.
I'm so sick of this.
So so I've got the YouTube poll with the correct out there. So
no matter what this poll result is, it's going to disappoint me.
It is probably because I have not. Is he going to make the team? It's does he even have a chance?
A snowball's chance in hell to make this roster.
So my vote is going to be a no. I don't think he has a chance. So we can move forward because Easton is going to update us on how the other Titans receivers are being utilized.
Are you going to wait to let the poll?
No, I'm just going to let the poll run, baby.
Okay, I eventually want to hear what the poll had to say.
Oh yeah. It's way too fresh. It's like 2 minutes. We gotta let this thing.
All right, we'll get back to it.
All right, so Easton will update us on how the Titans are utilizing the veteran additions to the roster, the new rookies on the roster, how the Titans are setting up their wide receiver units through the first couple of days of training camp. We'll get to that here in a moment, but first I want to tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute. If you fall, sometimes injuries happen, right? But make sure you know where you can go to get those injuries taken care of. It's always a massive inconvenience when an injury happens in life, so make sure you know where to turn and how to get healthy and how to make sure that you can maybe prevent that injury the next time around. The Bone and Joint Institute has all the experts, the resources, the doctors, the physical therapists, and the technology to help you do that. They've also got a really cool event coming up on Tuesday. That's July 29th. Sorry, JT, cover your ears. Former big leaguer Ben Zobrist and Franklin resident, alongside the Bone and Joint specialists, will throw an event talking about high school athletes getting back into the swing of things, and a really cool event. So you go check them out online or on their social media, boneandjointtn.org.
So much more to say, but first, make sure you've liked the show and leave us a 5-star Google review. Search ATOZ Sports on Google, hit that 5th star on the right, and say whatever you want to send us. You want to say hello, you want to ask a question, you want to tell us how you can't stand this one thing that we do. Any of those things are fine as long as they come in the form of a 5-star review. We appreciate those.
All right. So, Easton, update us on how the Titans are utilizing their blend of veteran and young wide receivers so far through camp.
Right. Somewhat difficult question to answer because it is so early. But what we've seen the first 2 days, in addition to what we saw earlier in the summer and in the spring, is that the young guys are getting a lot of run. Chimere Dike and Alec Ayaman are features of this offense. I'm very, very excited to see both of them once we get into pads. I thought that Alec was one of the standout guys on the first day of practice, which there weren't many of, but he really did impress me. Alec's interesting right now. He's kind of he's kind of a litmus test for what you look for in a receiver this time of year, or maybe what you value in receiver skill set. Because talking to people at camp, he seems to be one of the more polarizing players so far. Like my buddy Nick Suss, who I respect his opinion very deeply. He has not been super impressed with Ellick so far, and it's largely, he told me yesterday, predicated on the fact that his lower body does not impress him. His feet don't look fast, the way that he still can't run the ladder, like those things.
True. Yeah.
Which that part is true. I just don't care about those things. Like I see those and that's cool and whatever. But then I remember what I saw on his Stanford film and like what he can do when he's in pads and using his strength and using his length and using his speed and using his ability to win at the catch point. I see the flashes of those things when they're actually running in 7s and 11s in practice. So I think that he's somebody that is going to be really exciting to see, especially when they get into pads. Chimere Dike has, it's been 2 practices. He's not really impressed me so far, but I know that his body of work so far has been impressive, certainly to the coaches. They like him a lot. So let's see if he can bounce back once we get into pads a little bit. Yesterday, he was dropping a couple of balls, just not a great day for him, but that happens for guys, and it's July, so not reading too much into it. Beyond that, we're starting to see Tyler Lockett get involved, which we didn't get to see earlier in the spring. So the funny thing about Lockett is, we've kind of talked about him as like, he's the competitor for the starting slot. Like that's the role that he's going to play on this team. And then I've gotten a lot of people in the past couple of months now coming at me like, oh, this guy didn't even know what he's talking about. Tyler Lockett played more outside the slot last year than he played inside the slot. Folks, listen, I'm not just making up the slot thing. I'm telling you what the team is telling us. Like the team is going to use him as a slot. Yes, you're right that he played more outside the slot last year than he played inside the slot. This upcoming year, the team wants to use him in the slot. That's not just me not knowing what he did or watching him or knowing ball. Like I'm just, don't shoot the messenger on that one. So that's something that we've seen from him, and he's kind of easing himself back in. It's funny with a guy that's so seasoned like him. There's just something about the way they carry themselves in practice that there's this effortlessness, this like coolness, this like, even when they're going full speed, it's still kind of marking, not really like going all out, that you're just like, oh yeah, that guy's been around the block. And that's how Tyler Lockett looks out there so far. Van Jefferson continues to look big and strong, but nothing super impressive yet. I want to see him in pads. And then Restrepo he's had the quietest 2 days of his time in Tennessee so far. Like, it's not like he's been bad. He's just not, he was a target magnet earlier in the year, and the past couple of days he wasn't.
I have something for that.
Go ahead.
Because who was not practicing in May and June?
Tyler Lockett. Right. I was like, what? Yeah. Tyler. Totally.
So opportunity is less for Xavier Restrepo because Lockett is actually doing things.
Fair. So we'll see how he looks once they get into pads. Bryce Oliver is the last guy I want to mention. And now that we've kind of mentioned every player that I think is going to make the team, he's somebody we spoke to yesterday, and he is excited. He is somebody that the coaching staff, I think we talked to Brian Callahan yesterday as well about what he can be as a special teams player. I'm at the point where Bryce Oliver you might as well consider him a roster lock. He's somebody that brings too much to the special teams unit. I think that he has I think he's got a decent chance to be one of the team's 3 or 4 core special teamers this year, playing in every phase. The way that he played at gunner last year, I think, is promising enough to make him one of those guys. And he's just got that. He's got that NWI quality to him where his work ethic is very high. His attention to detail is very high. He's somebody you trust in those situations. He's fundamentally sound. And he does have upside on offense. Like, I think he's somebody that wouldn't just having a core special teamer that's awesome on special teams is awesome. Like, that's great. But oftentimes those guys you're rostering them for that. And they really bring you in. They're like very James Prochet, where it's like, well, they're not going to offer you a lick on offense or defense. Right. That's not really the case with Bryce Oliver. I think he does offer you something on offense. So when you find a guy like that, that's really special. And so I think that he's not only just going to make this team, I think he's going to be, again, like NWI, I think he's going to stick around. I think we're going to be talking about Bryce Oliver for the next handful of years here in Tennessee.
I agree. I think he's going to be, I think he's a roster lock because I think he's a game day activation lock, right?
Yes.
Because, you've only got 46 plus the 2 practice squad elevations to 48 players can wear a uniform on game days. And Bryce Oliver is going to be one of them. just because of all the different things that he does. And he's going to play a lot of snaps in a lot of different ways that Calvin Ridley's not, because he's too valuable at wide receiver. You kind of mentioned Tyler Lockett, just kind of how smooth he is and how kind of not nonchalant, but just how effortless he can go through and be successful in training camp practice. I've noticed the difference of urgency in Calvin Ridley. He's always got the most impressive kind of crazy, wild looking, get off the line of scrimmage first couple of steps that I've seen. But he's got urgency. You can tell it in how he's talking, but Calvin Ridley is locked in and ready to try to have a big year to overcome some of the misfires that happened last year with the quarterback situation. But so I think for me, there are three. I kind of view these wide receivers outside of Restrepo. He's kind of the seventh, but there are three veterans. There are three young guys. I think that's kind of how I'm seeing Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, Van Jefferson. Those are the three veterans. Then you get the three young guys of Alec Manor, Chim Dike, and Bryce Oliver. Calvin Ridley's obviously not getting unseated from his spot, right?
Nope.
But Lockett and Van have an opportunity to lose that role. So which of the two or one of these younger guys have an opportunity to unseat Lockett or Van Jefferson, with Manor being an outside guy? That's Van Jefferson maybe looking over his shoulder, and Chim Dike being used, as you mentioned, all summer long. He was going to be a slot. Chim Dike is a slot. I've seen that. He's been a slot guy in that young receiver unit group, making a couple of underneath catches on day one when I was out there. But is Tyler Lockett going to be looking over his shoulder for Chim Dike and then Xavier Restrepo too? So
yes.
So I think that's where I'm trying to see when in training camp does that happen, because with any business, and football is the same way. If you've got two people that are even in their jobs, the younger person is going to win. because that means there's more opportunity for potential ceiling. The investment can look different than the older person. That's just how life works. So if you're even, the younger person is going to win out. So at what point can one of these three or four younger guys, if you want to throw Restrepo in there for the fourth younger guy, when can they work to be even with a guy like Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson? That's what I'm really paying attention to.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And as we've talked about all summer long, I was reminded 2 days ago of the way too early predictions based on like day one of OTAs that we did on the show back in May or whenever it was. And one of the hottest ones of that day was that Alec Manor would be a household name. And I was just listening back to that segment, and it's like, I still think that, man. Like I think that one's going to age pretty well. I think that he's somebody that is going to be an impact player on this team early and often throughout the season. I do, maybe this is a topic for another day, so you can shut me down if you decide it is. We're talking about like everybody besides Calvin. There's like, I want to talk about Calvin because because there's not only just in practice, like we know that he's incredible in practice. He's one of the best practice players I've ever seen, frankly, but the potential in front of him this season, I can say, while at the same time as I really am optimistic about these young guys and like what the unproven elements of this receiver room can do, I'm also wanting to acknowledge that they are unproven, and that until anybody climbs the ladder and cements themselves in some kind of role, it's the Calvin Ridley show, man. And I think all year long, pretty much no matter what, it's going to be the Calvin Ridley show. And I was like looking at some numbers yesterday about Calvin Ridley, where last year, I don't know if you know this, he led the entire NFL. He was wide receiver 1 in the NFL for intended air yards. He had 1,800 of them, but he was the 36th receiver in the NFL for catchable targets per game. 4.2, I think, off the top of my head. So it was a lot of throwing at Calvin Ridley and throwing poorly at Calvin Ridley.
Intended air yards. There were 1,800 something intended air yards.
Yeah, if he caught every ball thrown his way, he would have had a 1,800 plus yard season,
which led the NFL.
He would have been by a country mile. He'd have been.
Now, does that count yak? Air yards?
No, I believe that is just where
just
you
like
catch
ball in the air, right?
Correct. So he probably would have had a 2,000 yard season if he'd caught all of them and then ran with the ball.
For sure, because he only had 1,000 yards. So there's a lot of air yards out there that went missing. That's crazy.
It's crazy. Now, I don't want to like be too misleading with this. He also, in terms of, forgive me if this is not quite the right stat, but it's in the right neighborhood. I believe in terms of average depth of target, he was receiver like 3 in the NFL behind oh man, I'm blanking. Who Rashid Shaheed in New Orleans, who everybody knows is like the deep bomb guy.
Go.
And then I forget who the other one was. I think it was like Alec Pierce or something, who also bombs away guy. So he was in that neighborhood of guys. That's
but Calvin's getting way more volume of opportunities.
and he's a totally different archetype of receiver, both in terms of style and in terms of upside than those guys. Like those guys are more, and I love Rashid Shaheed. I think Alec Pierce is underrated receiver. I like them both. They're more one trick pony types. No kidding. All 3 of those receivers were kind of in hell last year. Those guys are more one trick pony skill set types than Calvin is, right? And so I don't expect Calvin to be the bombs away guy in terms of utilization that he was last year. This year, I think that they'll still use him to stretch the field, especially to your point earlier, where like unless Alec really figures it out, he's easily their best and maybe their only true field stretcher. But I also think that they're just going to volume wise get him involved at all 3 levels. As we talked about last year, them needing to get this guy involved at all 3 levels. They weren't particularly good at that with him last year. It was a connection that was tricky to establish. And then even when they established it, you still had the problem of the guys throwing him the ball weren't good at throwing him the ball, even when there was a connection. So I think that his intended air yards number will probably come down, but his catchable targets number, God willing, will go up significantly. And I think that that's going to result in, we'll eventually probably have some like fantasy predictions on the show and stuff like that. I think that Ridley, listen, if you're starting to do your fantasy football prep at this point, I think Ridley, last I checked, is like going 54th off the board in average PPR leagues. That is, to me, criminally low. I think that he is a extreme value because of the opportunity in front of him. I'm not sure. I am sure that there's not a receiver with a crystal clear path to being a wide receiver 1 in a pass heavy offense in the entire league that is being ignored more than Calvin Ridley right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to get to our next question. But before we do that, I'm going to piss off Easton. YouTube poll. Does Treylon Burks even have a chance to make this Titans team? Yes, 50%. No, 50%.
Fools.
What are you guys doing? Like
unserious children.
Okay, be nice. But like,
no.
Come on. Don't call them unserious children. Guys.
I didn't call them all. I called them half.
There are way too many of you who voted saying that, yes, he has a chance to make the team. No, he does not have a chance to make the team. We've listed 6 receivers, not counting Xavier Restrepo, that are more valuable to this team than Treylon Burks.
I would bet anything that he's not on this team.
Anything.
I'm certain he's not on this
anything.
team.
Okay.
There's not a shadow of a doubt in my mind.
What are we doing here?
If we want to think about this over the weekend and establish it next week, that's fine. I will bet anything. I'm not getting a tattoo or anything, but like I'll in terms of things I can do on the show. So
what's anything then?
Well, I mean things I can do on the show, like for actual entertainment, not just for my punishment.
You don't want to get a tattoo of like what if you got a
Treylon Burks' face,
a hog tattoo on your thigh?
Yeah, that's not happening.
Oh man, that's hilarious. What about temporary tattoo sleeve?
Like a one that sticks around for like a couple weeks kind of thing.
Yeah.
Fine. I mean, like again, whatever the punishment we come up with, it's not happening.
I think a temporary tattoo sleeve that like is like a couple week thing, if Treylon Burks makes the team, it's a pretty big bet.
Do you know where we can get one of these? I'll do it. Sure.
I mean, yeah, Amazon, right? Like wherever you get everything.
Okay, I didn't know if you had to go get it done somewhere or not.
No, I think you can just I think they're just like the old tats that you got when you just like lick it and put it on your thing when you're a kid, but they're like way more intense.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that, but it's not happening. Like there's a very small chance that he's a practice squad guy. I think there's a very small.
Is he eligible for that?
What do you mean? Everybody's eligible for that?
Yeah, the practice squad rules are still
Yeah,
confusing.
I mean, he doesn't have to, like, they can't force him onto it or anything, but he
yes,
can be on
but
the practice
he would
squad.
get cut to not make the team, then have to go clear waivers.
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever,
But
and then
I'm
get
just
signed
saying,
back.
people be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, he made the practice squad. He's technically still on the team." Easton, obviously not
No,
what
he
I'm
got
talking
cut.
about.
He has to
Right.
get cut to be on the practice squad. first.
Correct.
Yeah.
He could
Yeah.
but I think even then, I think that's a very small possibility. I think they just want to move on. I think there's a small chance that I don't know, somebody, because to your point, he's still a first rounder. He still has these athletic traits. We
Still
see
got
guys.
guaranteed money on them
We
books.
have seen more surprising instances of people getting traded for like 2029 7th round picks. So maybe something like that happens for some team that, like the Chiefs, are like, we can fix him. Okay, knock yourselves out.
You have to get an unserious child.
That's
tattoo.
that's a good one. That's a great. I'll do that one. That's fine. That's the bet.
temporary. I don't know if you can do custom temporary tattoos.
You can.
Okay, good to know.
I'll get a henna tattoo of unserious child that lasts like a month.
on your forearm.
On my
Hilarious. On your forearm, your forehead.
I'll do it on my forehead. Screw it. It's not happening. I'm not having to do whatever this punishment.
Okay, all right. Forehead, unserious child tattoo on Easton's forehead, temporary tat. If Treylon Burks makes the team, which 51% of you now think he has a chance to make the team according to our YouTube poll. All right, so enough of that, because that is a ridiculous thing. That many people watching think that he has a chance to make this team, when I don't think he has a chance to make this team at all. So I'm in the no vote on this.
I don't actually think that
minority
people are unserious children, but I do think that it's disappointing how few folks are paying attention, because it's not hard to understand this situation if you're paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. All right, so let's talk more, right? Because we do have more guys we want to get to talk about for y'all. So what Titans wide receiver outside of Calvin Ridley has captured your attention the most? What Titans wide receiver outside of Calvin Ridley? Because we did give Calvin a little bit of flowers, a little conversation right there. But what Titans wide receiver outside of Calvin Ridley has captured your attention the most? I want to get your comments here shortly in the chat. But Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com is their website. Zach and I were scouring the internet, scouring the country, looking for the best company to help us with our employee benefits last year. We got them. We found Barton Drury Insurance Group back last fall and set that up. So 2025, our employee benefits are rocking and rolling. We've also got our workers' comp policy through the Barton Drury Insurance Group as well, because that's what we need as responsible employers. And you guys can use Barton Drury for any insurance needs you have, whether you're looking for something for your home, your rental, auto, you can bundle that. Umbrella insurance is very important these days as well. 401k planning and beyond. So Barton Drury Insurance Group, one, they're local. Two, they're sports fans, and they will be following and having conversations just like you will throughout the year. And three, they're experts at what they do. We are not experts in insurance. Not many people, unless you're an insurance broker, are experts in that, because it is high level, a lot of complications, a lot of big words and things that don't make sense to us. So make sure that you go check out the experts. BartonDrury.com is where to go.
So much more to say, but first, make sure you've left us a 5-star Google review. Search ATOZ Sports on Google, hit that 5th star on the right, and leave us whatever kind of feedback you wish to send our way. Feedback is a gift. We appreciate it. We read those, and we appreciate your 5-star reviews. They really do help us with our traffic and things like that. So go and do that for us.
Funny comment, because we asked the question, what Titans receiver outside of Calvin Ridley has grabbed your attention the most? Michael Grip, I don't know if he's intending this to be a joke, but he says Cody Barton, who I believe has more catches from Cam Ward than Treylon Burks does so far in training camp.
That's not, I don't know if that's statistically true, but it is true in my heart, so I don't care.
I think
it might be. I just don't know for sure that it is. I don't know for sure.
Treylon Burks did not catch a pass from Cam Ward in like team stuff, right?
Yeah,
I'm not like individual drills or like all routes on air. In 7-on-7 or 11-on-11, Cody Barton 1, Treylon Burks 0.
Maybe
catching the football out of Cam Ward's hand.
I'm willing to just say that's right. Yeah, that's fine.
I think it's right. But all right, so what other receivers are you seeing, Easton, in the chat that are grabbing the audience's attention so far?
I'm seeing a super chat from Noah that missed the Burks blasphemy for a work meeting. Obviously, Burks should stay on the roster. Dude's going to be great. All right, you wasted $5 to say something not true. That's crazy to me.
Man.
That's insane. Thanks for the super chat, Noah, but crazy thing to say. Let's see. I am seeing Xavier Restrepo. Restrepo. Got to be Alec Iamaner. Burks. I think people were just trolling with the Burks. Fair enough. Iamaner is definitely the answer. Restrepo, Helm, breaking out of the technical wide receivers here, but a receiver nonetheless.
Pass catcher.
Restrepo, a lot of Restrepo in the chat. Wow. Eric says, does Gunnar Helm count? He picks him.
No,
Fair.
No, he does not. No, he does not count.
I mean, they're catching the balls.
No, he is a tight end. These are wide receivers. We use the term WR capitalized.
Is he not receiving the football?
He is a pass catcher. He is a receiving option, but he is not a wide receiver. He's not. He will not be paid like a wide receiver.
Xavier Restrepo. More tight end comments that I won't throw up there because it will make Austin mad. Restrepo has caught his attention, according to Jason. Restrepo,
can we pause? Restrepo?
Yeah, what's going on here?
So because he hasn't really done anything yet, which is fine because only a select group of fans have been able to watch training camp practice because of the limitations of the facility at this moment. But Xavier Restrepo, I think deserves credit for how he's going about this. Like you and I texted over the break when Chad Ochocinco is holding his wide receiver workouts right in Florida.
Wide out workshop.
It's
the new tight end U. It's going to be huge.
I mean, honestly, it's great. But you've got all the dudes, the Justin Jeffersons, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyreek Hill's there, all these great big name receivers. And then there's Xavier Restrepo. But you know what? He's doing it. He didn't give a damn. like that's part of it is just saying not having any type of fear to go to somewhere where you clearly are the odd man out. You are the one that does not fit the picture because there are dozens of Pro Bowl selections and all pros in the picture. And then there's Xavier Restrepo, who does have the most receiving yards of Miami Hurricane football history. But still, Xavier Restrepo does not care. He does not care about people thinking he's not good, not fast enough, not big enough, not strong enough. If you make fun of his face blood vessel situation, he does not care.
Nope.
And I went over there after Wednesday's practice because Cam Ward had a long line snaking of kids to sign autographs. And Cam was doing his thing. He was going through it. There was a lot of things. But Xavier Restrepo was engaging with the fans with somebody who truly is not taking this opportunity for granted. And the level of authenticity that guy has is great to see. And so
he's extremely likable.
I do think Xavier Restrepo has earned fan favorite because that guy's going to do everything he can to not take it for granted.
That is a wholesome and accurate observation, Austin. I agree. I was making fun of the people in the comments saying Restrepo because he has not done anything so far. But you know what? In fairness to the folks in the comments, like I kind of led off our conversation today, nobody's really done anything so far. The passing game has been intentionally calm the first couple of days. Yeah. Not even vanilla. So this is something I talked about on 104.5 with Blaine and Zach yesterday. Everybody that has seen the practices the first 2 days, and I was giving some of the Titans coaching staff a hard time as Callahan was walking in yesterday. I was like, oh, another boring practice, Brian. And he thinks this is a funny narrative because they are very intentionally ramping up the way that they are not doing simple. It's not that they're doing simple things offensively. It's that they are doing the dirty work, boring things that aren't simple. They're very important. It's the underneath stuff. It's
foundation.
It's the plays that make up the majority of football games where it's like a 5-yard out, a 3-yard run, timing routes that you have to be you need to be able to do these meat and potatoes plays to be able to do the explosive fun stuff. And if I had to bet, they are showmen. This is a entertainment business. When we get into the stadium in front of thousands of fans tomorrow, they're probably going to do some more fun stuff. Another thing I told Brian yesterday on the way in is hey, Saturday, 30 minutes of just go routes, just not
no.
He said, it's a good idea. It won't be productive even a little bit, but it'll be fun. It'll be a fun time.
I mean, there was once a stadium practice that I attended. I'm not sure if you were there or not, where they practiced taking safeties. If the punt long snapper had a bad snap on a punt,
it's an incredible thing to do.
Walk through Hail Marys.
It's an incredible thing to do in a stadium.
Well, I mean, you have to do it in the stadium because it does logically. Football guy says you have to practice that in the stadium for spacing. But when you invite 20,000 fans to show up, it's not good. Not good for optics.
I do think that they're going to focus on red zone, though. So there's, shocker that's the mastermind behind that one. I do believe that they're going to focus on red zone tomorrow if you're coming to the stadium. So I think there's going to be some more exciting things, some touchdowns scored. So that's cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
But they are ramping up. And so that was a total tangent to give the chat some credit on the Restrepo thing. If nobody's done anything impressive, then you know what? Make it Restrepo. Who cares?
Well, Garrett, there's a few comments that are spot on when it comes to what Xavier Restrepo is doing, just as like a human element of it. Garrett says, elevate your company if you want to grow. Some advice applies to everyday people in every discipline. No doubt. Andre says, Restrepo is putting himself in positions to win. Surrounding yourself with elite guys to learn from is smart. Absolutely. And he doesn't have any fear of being mocked by being the weird guy there that with all these other like future Hall of Famers and Pro Bowlers. There was another comment that I wanted to get to as well along these same lines. Eric says, Restrepo is silently holding others accountable with Cam and the 5 a.m. get together this offseason, workouts, etc. in his eyes, which is true because in the same way that Cody Barton said the first day of practice, the defense didn't dominate enough because the defense knows they can't let Cam Ward, young rookie quarterback, come here and just look like he's the next greatest thing because that makes the Titans defense look bad. And anybody who is competing against Xavier Restrepo, whether in the wide receiver room or across from any wide receiver, cannot get beat by Xavier Restrepo, the undrafted try-hard free agent rookie, because that's a bad look on them. So absolutely, Eric, all these comments are spot on about what Xavier Restrepo's impact can be for this roster. Just a trickle up effect, right? That's exactly what it's doing.
Yep. Totally agree.
So back to the initial question. Outside of Ridley, wide receiver that's catching your attention, Easton, what's your answer here?
I'll say I am Manor just to stick with the bit for me. Like, he's my guy. He was truly on day one of the only guys that stood out to me even a little bit. I was impressed from what he did our first day back. I'm not going to go too overboard, even though I am tempted to every single day until I see him in pads and we get to see what that looks like. But I think that he is still the guy I'm the most bullish on right now.
Okay. I think Alec Manor is a really good answer. He's the one who looks the part. And to what Nick Suss said earlier that you kind of mentioned about his lower body and his footwork don't look quick. Like, he's not that type of player, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he is, again, understand the analogy here. He is more like a Mike Evans style athlete than he is like the quick athlete like Julio Jones was doing ladder drills when he was here, right? Like, he is a clean route runner that doesn't have a lot of wasted space or momentum or wiggle, but he is strong. And I actually heard Manor on with Buck yesterday after the practice. He thinks when the pads comes on, that's when he views himself to be able to separate from others because the pads are an advantage to him.
Yep.
Where a lot of receivers view the pads where that's where they get kind of swallowed up a little bit because now defenders can get more physical where Manor is like, no, this is my time to be more physical than them. And so I think that's a really good mindset. Buck or Lucas won. I think it was Lucas asked him, what was your favorite play from your college career? And everybody's like waiting for him to say when he mossed Travis Hunter. Yeah. And he goes, no, it was this 2-point conversion play where we ran this zone duo, where I had a crackback block and I pancaked 2 guys in 1 block. That was his favorite play of his entire college career.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, that's
football
just
guy.
like a hell
football
yeah.
Guy.
Yeah. Right. So Manors is going to be an impactful player. My answer to this, I think, because he hasn't caught my attention yet, I think he has my attention for what I think he means for the rest of the room. I think the biggest disruptor for the position group is Chim DK.
Sure.
Whether he rises or doesn't, I think Chim DK affects more other individuals on who's going to make the team and who doesn't than any other one wide receiver.
I agree. Because
either
can
he get Tyler Lockett cut?
Right.
And then what does that mean after that? If he doesn't get Tyler Lockett cut, then you keep Chim DK. Then who else is on the chopping block after him? Is he a punt returner? Is he a kick returner? Can he be a gunner? I think he is the disruptor on the offensive side to figure out like how quickly does he progress to make others kind of worry about their jobs.
Yeah, he directly impacts the roster ability of at least Tyler Lockett, Xavier Restrepo, and James Prochet.
Are there more?
It could be argued, but I think it's less direct. Other guys up for the returner role.
And Jason says, how do you cut DK 4th round? No, we're not talking about him getting cut.
No.
No, it's a who gets cut depending on how good or not good he is.
Right. Like, does he enter the year as receiver 3 or receiver 6 in the rotation?
Exactly. So I think he is the biggest disruptor. So that's why he has caught my attention, because of the position that he's in overall. So I think it's going to be in Bryce Oliver. I think, again, Bryce Oliver, I don't think will be impacted by Chim DK, because I think he's on the team.
I think he's pretty singular in his resume, making the team on his own merits. I don't think that it's super dependent on others, but could be wrong. We'll see.
Does Chim DK affect Van Jefferson at all?
Maybe. Again, Jefferson, I think, is just a guy that is relatively locked in to just being like your reliable depth, break glass in case of emergency guy. I think he's,
because if you don't have Van Jefferson, who are your outside receivers you're counting?
Right. It's Alec. It's playing Chim outside some. It is
And
Calvin.
Bryce Oliver.
It's Bryce Oliver. Right.
Yeah. Understanding Calvin's there, right? So it's
Yeah.
Calvin and who? Not
It's Calvin and Treylon. Duh.
That's why I think Van Jefferson is more of a lock than Tyler Lockett. Because even if
I
even if Elikai Manor is just a badass and is the starter next to Calvin Ridley, you still need Van Jefferson.
I'm old enough to remember when I was getting made fun of for calling Jefferson a lock and Lockett not one a couple months ago.
Did I make fun of you for that?
No, just the folks.
Okay.
The folks
Just making sure that I remembered correctly.
The people. It's one of the many things on my bulletin board of motivational material.
Yeah, let's see that bulletin board. Noah came back with another $4.99 coffee super chat. Just gonna waste another $5 to say Burks is not worth giving up on the season. Have been on this train forever, and yes, it's a bit of a joke now.
I still think you're crazy, but I respect just throwing it anyways. It's funny. It's a funny way.
So Noah, if you missed it, if Treylon Burks makes the Titans roster, Easton has to get a temporary henna tattoo of "unserious child" on his forehead. That's how serious Easton is about him not making the team.
That's how certain I am that he's not making the team.
Which still, I've let this YouTube poll continue.
Oh God.
There's a lot of votes because it's been up for 37 minutes.
How many votes?
170.
Okay. Does
Treylon Burks even have, quote, a chance to make the Titans team? Yes. 51%.
Brutal. We're, you know what? That's, how like in grade school, the teachers are like, I'm disappointed in my students, but you know what? Ultimately, it's on me for not doing a good enough job. Like, they're not testing well. That reflects on me as a teacher. In a sense, I feel like I feel like we're not doing a good enough job. Clearly, we're not letting the people know the reality here.
I think we have done a good job.
I thought so too, but clearly not. Clearly not.
Noah, you're gonna waste another $5. Can we ask Easton can we force Easton to buy a Treylon Burks jersey?
Is that the better? I think that may honestly be a better thing. Is I have to spend my own money on a Treylon Burks jersey.
I like the tattoo.
Maybe it's both.
If that's where you want to go with it, you can absolutely go there.
I mean, again, we're just adding things that aren't going to happen to the plate of punishments.
I cannot believe that the yeses. I was just trying to think of like how many no's would there be? I was honestly expecting it to be like 65 no chance, 35% chance think there's a chance. Yeah.
Same.
But no, not 51-49 yes. No, it's just not letting it go. 17 doll hairs now, which is one number higher than Burks' jersey number.
Noah could have taken me out to dinner, but instead he decided to.
Dinner? Where are you getting dinner for $17?
I don't know. You're right. Not many places anymore. We could have gotten an appetizer, Noah.
Yeah, we could have shared an app.
Yeah.
All right.
Chili's.
Let's go ahead and wrap up this Friday show with a little bit of good news. If you have good news to share, throw it in the chat. Good news time on this Friday. Shout out to Holiday World and Splash and Safari. A summer they'll never forget. As almost forgot to do that. But Holiday World and Splash and Safari, the summer is about to wind down. School starts in just a couple weeks, which is crazy. But Holiday World and Splash and Safari in Santa Claus, Indiana, open for just another few weeks. So make sure you get it in before the end of the summer and go get that nice water park, the water coasters, the state-of-the-art best roller coasters in the region right there, just 2.5 hours away from Nashville in Santa Claus, Indiana. Holiday World and Splash and Safari. Shout out to them for our good news segment throughout the summer. So good news. Do you see good news in the chat, Easton? What are you seeing?
Here's some good news. James says your local TJ Maxx has 30 Burks jerseys available for $20 each, which I think is a joke, but honestly might not be. We'll have to go check that out. I'll fact check that over the weekend. Zachary says good news. It's his birthday this weekend. Happy birthday, Zach. Eric, okay, good news. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out. If you're a huge Happy Gilmore guy, you know that is coming out this weekend on Netflix. So congratulations.
Is it already out? Because I was actually I watched Quarterback. I
believe it comes out today, so it may be out already.
Because I've seen it like in my Netflix carousel for like ever. So
yeah, I think last night I saw it. It said out Friday. So good news from Jeff getting a new car since they are totaling his 2011 Elantra and going to see Fantastic Four today or tomorrow. That's exciting. That's partial good news for me as well. I'm hoping to see Fantastic Four this weekend because that looks like a fun movie. And you know me, big movie guy. Eric says 22nd year anniversary today. Happy anniversary.
Wow, 22 years.
Adam says finally getting my teacher bonus of $2,000. Nice little pad in the pocket there. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Matt also got a big quarterly bonus today. Man, that's exciting. I'm gonna have to check for the A to Z quarterly bonus. I'm sure is also waiting for me in my inbox. I'll have to go look at that. Strike says good news. Show bets are back. True. True.
Yeah, there is a rule about show bets, especially for me. It does not include any hair, whether the growing or the shaving of hair is off limits for bets because been there, done that.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ben says good news. Football is coming, and I'm at the Shore in New Jersey, a beach that I've heard many things from. Again, we've got too many Jersey people in our lives, but I've heard that's
have you been to a Jersey Shore?
I've never been to Jersey.
I've been to the Jersey Shore.
I intend to never go to Jersey.
I enjoyed the Jersey Shore.
Good for you. Let's see.
It's less humid.
Well, you're not wrong about that.
Honestly, sure. This is the time to go to the Jersey
in the
Shore.
dead of summer. I'm sure it is not
because
terrible.
If you go south or anywhere in the Gulf or anywhere on the Atlantic and North Carolina or below, you are going to suffocate from humidity inhalation.
Donald says, good news. Me and my friends had fun in the parking lot at work celebrating Ozzy's life. Rest in peace to the Prince of Darkness. It's been a tough week for anybody that is an 80s kid. Some tough passings with Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne.
And from the Cosby show.
Oh, that's right. Malcolm.
Yeah.
Whose name I'm
forgetting. Warner.
Yeah. Theo Huxtable, obviously.
Also 80s. Yep.
A great show, by the way, that, has aged interestingly. Any other good news here? Well, I wouldn't lump those two things 100% together.
No, I just aged oddly.
You're right. Aged oddly. But
and Ozzy Osbourne, to be honest.
One of them was deeply criminal.
Yeah.
Let's see. Good news. Just bought land in Florida to start an RV boat storage business. Exciting. Best of luck to you and your new business, Jason.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. Pads are coming on next week. That's honestly my good news is that we can quit watching guys run in t-shirts and shorts. That is fantastic news. Looking forward to that. Austin, what's your good news?
Is that your actual good news?
Unless I can come up with something better in the next 10 seconds.
I think you had something great yesterday that could be a great good news that you had
true. I already kind of burned it. My daughter's birthday was yesterday. Valerie is one.
What'd you guys do?
Tell
us the good news.
We had a pool party, which I told you before the show. I'm realizing that I think I'm going to be having a lot of birthday pool parties the rest of my life because July 24th, birthday means basically either a pool party or something inside, right? It's going to be a lot of scorchers. So had a good time. She loves the pool. She loves the water. And we had cake, and we did the whole smash cake thing where she just, annihilated a cake with her hands and was shoveling it in her mouth. And it was a whole great deal. She had a blast. So it was a good time.
You know what I see in your future?
you know that's right. That's my spot, man. We will be in attendance at Holiday World of Splash and Safari as soon as she is tall enough to ride any of the rides.
Yes. But hey, that's a great birthday experience. Is like, okay, you can invite 3 friends to come to Holiday World with us, and you can get like a cheap hotel and a weekend pass at Holiday World, and they'll think it's the best thing in the world.
That's right. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. My good news is the fact that we've been working through this massive project with A to Z Sports over the last month, alongside a lot of our new hiring cycle, and thank goodness it is coming to an end.
It's so good.
I love everything we're doing here, but the interviewing and hiring process that we go through every summer is the most intense and the most time-consuming,
brutal,
and confusing and stressful thing that I do every year. And I'm so happy and thrilled with the people that we've already brought on. Some have been announced, some have not been announced yet. Some just happened recently. Maybe there's one other one that we're going to do. I don't know. But I'm so happy to be almost done.
You're so happy and so happy?
Wow. With job interview season. Job interview season ages me every year.
Well, and slap on top of that a site migration, which is just a fun thing to be having to do on the side throughout that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Along those lines, you may need to be getting back into the job interview space earlier than you want to, because with the impending news of ESPN buying NFL Network, we were talking about this at Titans camp yesterday.
Yeah,
it's going to be a case of too many cooks if those guys are like. ESPN's going to have 17 NFL insiders. So what do you do? Like, we were brainstorming. Do you tell Mike Garafolo he has to go and cover hockey now? Like, Mike,
and that's
now a hockey insider.
That just happened too, because this is the unfortunate thing with our industry, is that when you have things like ESPN potentially buying NFL.com, NFL Network, all of that, you had On3 just purchase Rivals. You know, when Rivals folds under On3, there's these teams, these college teams that have team sites, and you don't need 2 sites to cover the same ACC, SEC, Big Ten team, right? So somebody's out. Same thing with what you just said with the NFL Network and ESPN people. So it's tough. And every year,
future A to Z employee Tom Pelissero.
I mean, every year there are so many talented people that get left. They get let go, and for no of their doing, it's just where we're at, and it sucks. But for us, luckily, we have been able to get talent available to us that wouldn't otherwise be available to us.
That's right.
So that's, we will take that for a win. There is Titans news before we get out of here. Did you see it, Easton?
Usually I do, but I didn't. What happened?
Titans have waived 2 wide receivers this morning.
Oh, I just got the
No, I'm sorry. They waived and signed another. They waived wide receiver Colton Dowell is now gone. And they signed wide receiver Matt Landers.
Isn't Matt Landers wasn't he also an Arkansas guy, 7th round draft pick last year? Am I making that up, chat?
Quickly.
Look up Matt Landers. I think that he's like a really rangy.
He's 26 years old, so I don't know about.
I might be.
Let's see. He did play. He played college football at Georgia, Toledo, and Arkansas.
So I was right about that.
Yeah. So we did just get Dwight just sent us the press release. So
I guess here's 2 years ago, actually. Here's
the write up. And entered the NFL as an undrafted free agent with the Seahawks in 23. Served on the practice squad with the Seahawks that year, and the Panthers in 23, and the Patriots last year. Additionally, spent a last season stint with the Browns in the offseason and training camp. Spent time with the UFL's Arlington Renegades and San Antonio Brahmas,
yeah.
In 24, and in 25, he was signed with CFL's Hamilton Tiger Cats. Prior to his professional career, the St. Petersburg, Florida native played at the University of Georgia from 17 to 20, Toledo in 21, and University of Arkansas in 22. College stats: 79 catches, 1,547 yards, 14 touchdowns in 50 games. So, I
I
don't know.
remember JT and I talking about him in our do and don't draft guide. I think this is actually 2 drafts ago. And
Yes, 23 would be
from
the-
what I remember, he was a late round. I don't know if he actually was drafted in the 7th or was just projected to be drafted in the 7th. Okay, so he was projected to be maybe a late round guy. And he is very long, very fast, very athletic, not particularly great at actually playing receiver. So like a special teams guy.
Okay. Noah, just going to waste another $5. My good news is I sent
Noah.
Easton a DM of my troll drop at the draft. Now you can go to Chili's, Easton. I missed the 2 for 20 days. So
I gotta say, Noah's
dropping
working his way up to an entree here. We can
$22.
afford.
So the tip is on you.
Shout out
Easton.
Noah, man. Yeah, I got the tip. Don't worry about it.
All right, that is it for us for this Friday show. Don't forget, tomorrow, Titans practice at the stadium. Hope to see all of you guys that show up at the stadium. We'll be on the field with us two and JT and Buck and the rest of Titans media.
Broiling.
So, yeah, they're just simmering. So say hey if you do see us, and we'll catch you guys later on. Hope you have a great start to your weekend. Appreciate it as always. Like the show, subscribe to our channel, all that good stuff. 5-star good review. See you guys tomorrow at the stadium. Thanks.